Hey, so in this video, we're going to be going over presses and press variations. Now, just like the bench presses to the chest, the main movement, the overhead presses to the shoulders. This is something that you can focus on for progressive overload and really just track your progress on. It's my favorite movement to do for my shoulders, and it's something that has a lot of different variations. So for the main one that I like to do, it's the barbell overhead press in the gym and with the EVO Gym. So here, all you're going to do is usually put it on the third notch, maybe the fourth. It just depends on how tall you are. For really tall people, you might want to put it on the fifth. And all you do is you just grab your weight, make sure it's attached to the right notch. And if you're doing it for your first time, of course, like always, start with less weight and figure out where it's good for you. Bend down a little bit, bring the weight up, kind of like a reverse curl, okay? Get under it and pull it up to beneath your chin. And usually you'd be resting it on your clavicle, but I'm not gonna do that because I have a lavalier mic on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it right here. So hold it at the bottom, just like this. You want your hands to be at about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit outside that, maybe a little narrower, it depends on you, but usually people like to use shoulder width. Keep your elbows right beneath your hands, press up, keep your core tight and your glutes tight, and down. Now, the barbell with resistance bands is going to be shaking a little bit. It's going to require you to use your stabilizing muscles. That's one of the challenging parts about doing overhead presses with resistance bands. So it might take you a while to get used to. Hold it at the top. You can even push it up. That works your traps a little bit. And bring it back down. Try to keep it stable, okay? Slow and controlled. Just like that. Now you can see when I go up, I bring my head back a little bit. Then I push it through underneath. Just like that. All right? Keep your core tight, your glutes tight. Bring it down to the bottom. Good stretch at the bottom. Push upwards. Just like that. Okay. So those are your overhead presses with the barbell. You can do the same thing sitting down. If you want to try and like work out a different part, you can put your legs out in front of you. That's going to work out your core more. You're not going to be able to do as much weight. So like, actually, I'll just show you. I'm not going to add more weight to it or change the notch, but if you want to do overhead presses like this, it's actually a great movement. You're probably going to want to use the second notch, but you just sit like this and you do it like that. It's a really good exercise. It's actually a lot more difficult for most people. With when I'm using like free weights or a barbell, I do about, I would say 25 or 30 pounds less than my normal overhead press. So you can do the same thing, an overhead press, just using the handles. So I'll show you that. You can just take these off, and for the sake of brevity, I'll just add one band. Just take it here. And you can do both or one at a time. And just move your arm up like that. Make sure your arm's going below 90, meaning this part of your arm is breaking 90 degrees at the bottom. How far down you go is up to you, and you just press at the top. Now, you obviously might want to do both at the same time, but you can also do one arm at a time. And some people like to do it with the weight in front as well. So find out what's more comfortable for you in terms of grip. I actually like to have it in front of me a little bit. It puts more stress on your front delt, and just push it up like that. Okay? So that's a great way to do it. Now, you can do it with the handle sitting down as well. You can do it like leaning forward a little bit. So let's say you have the weight right here, and it's a little bit awkward because I'm trying to show you, but basically you can do the press leaning forward, do like that. So a little bit more on your front delt. There's just a lot of different variations you can do of presses. You can do it with the handles, you can do it sitting down, you can do it on your knees. You can try so many different ways of doing overhead presses. There's the Arnold Press where you have the weight out in front of you like this, and then you come out like that, and you stabilize it with both hands. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. So that's doing overhead presses with the EVO Gym. There's a bunch of ways you can do it, and I do encourage you to try and experiment with new ways and just find what works best for you. That's it for this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Hey, so in this video, we're going to be doing some different accessory movements for shoulders. We're going to do some flies and stuff like that. So the first one is a really simple lateral raise, but what I like to do is bring them across like this, just like I did with the bent over flies for the back and the rear delts. And also, of course, for the rear delts, like when you did the back exercise, this is also a shoulder exercise, it's rear delts. But right here, we're gonna be doing standing lateral raises. So all you do is you take the weight, cross them over, and of course you can do them on the same side as well. You might just wanna put them on a notch lower, and you can do them like that. You just put them on the second notch instead of the third. But here, the way I like to do it, because there's more tension throughout the movement, is I cross the bands over like this, have them attached to the handles, and I just bring them to the side. Break your arms past 90 degrees, hold them out there, okay? Put as much weight as you need to make this strenuous. Usually you don't want to do anything past 15 reps, but you know, I like to stay in the 8 to 15 rep range when I'm doing flies. So right here, just come out just like that, okay? Break 90 degrees. If you want, you can even go a little higher, but this is a perfect amount for me. And don't worry about the bands bumping against each other a little bit. And also at the bottom, try not to let your arms come all the way in and go slack. Keep some strain, some tension on the resistance bands. Keep them out a little bit. Keep your arms to the side. Bring them up. Keep tension there, okay? Lower it down. Don't just let your arms snap in at the top like that. Lower your arms down, okay? That's already starting to become pretty strenuous. So those are your standard lateral raises. You can do a bunch of different ways with this. I'll show you one really quick where you would stand right over the weight. You can bring it on, let's see, the second notch. Stand right here. Do a lateral raise like that. Just standing there with a single arm. You can do it where you're doing a single arm from right here, bending over. There's a bunch of things you can do, obviously. And another thing that you can do that I really love for flies, other than your standard front raise, which is like this, you bring the weight up like that, works the front of your delts. You can do that, but one of my favorite exercises is to actually put both of the bands on one side and step inside the barbell. So I'll show you what that looks like really quick. So instead of using the handles, we're gonna move these over here. We're gonna put them on probably the second one, but we're gonna have to see really fast, the second notch. And then we're gonna attach it to the barbell. I think this is gonna be third notch, honestly. Let's see. Second one might be too difficult. So just like this, you're attaching it to both ends of the barbell. Sorry about that. Get in here, just like this. And then you're doing front raises, okay? So just like that. Yeah, that's too difficult. Okay, we found out. We found out together. So we're just gonna cut that part out. So we're actually gonna put it on the third notch, like that. And we're gonna do front raises. So what you do is put it on both ends, right like that. Step inside the bands, get on your base, lean forward a little bit, get tension on the band at the bottom, maybe not too much because it's gonna be really hard at the top, and then bring it forward, just like that. It's a front raise. You can stand more upright like this, do it like that. I like to lean forward a little bit and do them like this. That's really good for your front delts. It's a great exercise. Just like that. Keeping tension on them the entire time. Go slow and controlled. That's one of my favorite exercises. Okay, so those are just a few variations that you can do. You can obviously mix it up. There's a bunch of different exercises that you can use for your delts, and those are the ones that I like to do as accessory movements. That's it for this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.